Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Tara Time. I have got another absolutely banging guest for you this week. And this guest is officially the definition of a stranger from the internet. The one that my mother always warned me about, be careful of strangers from the internet, but I have ignored her advice and I'm glad I did. And I'm going to let the wonderful Danielle Carrigan in now and let her introduce herself. Hello, Danielle. Welcome.
Hello, thank you for having me live, which I'm a bit nervous about, must admit, but hey ho, I'm here. Strangers from the internet. I'm the best stranger from the internet you've ever met. Admit it, please.
Yeah, I would find it difficult to deny that. I would find it difficult to deny that.
Hesitated a lot there, but I'll take it.
Tell people who you are. For those of you who haven't met you yet, which is a crime, I would say, but please introduce yourself.
Or blocked my annoying face off LinkedIn, quite possibly. So I'm Danielle. I'm from Spacetime VA. So I'm basically a VA that delves into people's LinkedIn DMs, sorts them all out, records their leads and all the rest of it. And I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm also a primary school teacher too, but only 2 days a week now. So yeah, multi-talented, some may say, or just crazy.
I am going to, for all of the people who don't know what a VA is, because until I entered the business world, I myself didn't know what a VA was, and it is a virtual assistant. Actually, in fact, what would you define a VA as? Like, what would you say virtual assistants bread and butter, or your bread and butter as a virtual assistant is?
Do you know what though? It's really hard because somebody asked me this the other day, and people always say to me, so what do you do? And there's a VA. You can have a VA for everything. So like some web designers will now call themselves a VA web designers, VA landing page designer, VA admin. It's basically just an assistant online that can either kind of do traditional PA work for you. It can be website designing. You know, there's VAs for absolutely everything. Me personally, I kind of love all things LinkedIn. So it can be managing the DMs, it can be posting content. For one of my clients, I do property management randomly. But yeah, I know. I don't know how I got into that.
Multi-talented.
Yeah.
Right, absolutely multi-talented.
Some people can call themselves VAs and probably be something completely different. It's become a bit of an umbrella title for all sorts of different made-up jobs, maybe. You know, I made mine up.
Well, yeah, but what better thing to do? And I think that's actually the world of business now. You do get to just make your job up. Like you actually can just go and make your job up.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when I was looking at VAs online, as you do, you know, check out all the others. There was nobody that was just like, there's people that specialize in LinkedIn, but not like LinkedIn DMs. And I thought, well, everybody needs that. And people with big accounts, oh my God, the leads that they get in the DMs and not being able to manage it and record it and follow up and think, it's just incredible. So I thought, finally, I found this niche that everybody's been banging on at me since last September to do. That's been, a little bit crazy. Everyone's been going, niche. You need to niche down. I'm like, I'm a teacher. I don't know what to do, but leave me alone. But yeah, I found it. Maybe I found it. But yeah.
Well, I think it's extremely fitting. And we were just chatting before we came live about trying to figure out when we first started talking, and it's so appropriate for your like specific niche, actually, how we first started talking. And it was in July last year. We first started talking.
That's before my business launched.
Yeah, and directly in the DM. So I think I'd left a comment on one of your posts, and we were talking about collaborating and doing something together, and you dived straight in. And I think that demonstrates the power. And the first thing that I wanted to talk about today was the power of LinkedIn, because we both absolutely love it. We both spend a lot of time over there, and it has been extremely fruitful for both of us. So I want to talk about the power of it and the power of starting up conversations with people in DMs. So where do we start with LinkedIn? Where do we start to talk about LinkedIn?
I think the community, like if you take, for example, so how we met. So I literally just scrolled back on my DMs because we were talking, and it was like, how did we first kind of talk to each other? Was it in the DMs? Was it on another channel? Where was it? And basically, I think we'd interacted that much on each other's posts that I just sent you a message out the blue saying, hey, so when should we get this sorted? When are you free?
Yeah.
Now, I would never normally just drop somebody a DM directly like that. But we'd obviously built enough of a relationship up online. Sorry, Tom, to kind of like dive straight in there. Do you know what I mean? It is crazy how you can get to know people out there in the public eye on a community. It's bonkers, but I love it. And now we're like, sharing hotel rooms and everything.
I think LinkedIn is quite unique though in that factor, and I don't know what it is. I don't know why it seems to be, and I think it obviously depends on who you follow and who's in your community, and we'll talk about curating your feed in that way in a minute. But I think it's just like people are more open to go into direct conversations about either working together, supporting each other, becoming friends, meeting people. Like it is a bit weird almost, but like I think because you can see everything, you can see much more than you can on other social platforms about somebody on LinkedIn. Yeah. So on Instagram, you've got a handle, unless they're a business, you don't know what they do, you don't know where they live, you don't know, unless they've nailed their bio, and lots of people that don't, it's just next to nothing there. So you don't know who these people are really. You can see photos and bits and bobs of their life, but you don't know who they are. Whereas on LinkedIn, I feel like you can see who people are, what they do, what kind of things you might have in common, like pretty much straight away.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. You can, almost find out their life story, can't you? And then like, oh, what have they commented on? And, sometimes I'll get connect requests and think, like, who is this person? And I'll just go and have a look. What have they commented on? Is it valuable? All the rest of it. And as you say, like with Instagram, I mean, I've only just started I've had a personal account, but a business one. I don't know what on earth I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm doing on Instagram, because it's like, I engage with people. Well, how do I don't even know what they do, who they are. I find LinkedIn very kind of informative in that way. Totally agree.
They are definitely two different beasts, and it's funny because I first started on Instagram, and I as a user, I fucking love Instagram. Like, I absolutely love Instagram. I to this day, like, I love dicking about on Instagram stories is the thing I love to do. Like, you'll see a lot, and especially because I have a lot of like travel content that I desperately want to share, and I'm so proud of, and I love people to be able to get inspired by and engaged with. And it's very difficult to like have the volume of content that I produce on LinkedIn, because after a couple of posts, it doesn't really like, a couple of posts a day and that's it. Right. Whereas Instagram is not the same. And I have never been that kind of person who struggles with volume of content. I'm like, I've got so much shit to say.
Every time, you know what, right? When I get up in the morning, first thing you do, have a bit of a scroll on your phone, like go to LinkedIn, go to Instagram, Tara Brevitt, oh my God, here she is again.
Here she is in my fucking eyeballs again.
You're everywhere. I can't get rid of you.
But yeah, so they're definitely different beasts, and they definitely have their own place. But for me, LinkedIn is absolutely banging for building community, for like literally making friends that become real life friends. Like, the amount of requests I've had since, I've been going on LinkedIn about a year, I think. And like, obviously I'm coming back to the UK for 6 months in a few weeks. And the amount of requests I've had, can we actually just meet as a human now? Like, can we meet in real life? Yeah. Which is so nice. And it is so different in terms of that community building. But generally, I think also, as whether you are, because my audience are kind of split between being leaders in organizations and being business owners, leaders of businesses. Irrespective, LinkedIn is not just a job searching platform anymore. No. It is not just a corporate update platform anymore. No. If it ever was, to be honest, it isn't that. And I'm like desperately trying to spread that word. Like, so many of my clients are not maximizing the potential that is LinkedIn, and I'm like literally trying to persuade, and some of them are starting now and reaping the rewards immediately. And I did a post on LinkedIn a couple of days ago where I was like, right, it's my mission to show people that it's not that fusty place anymore, because that used to be my thought as well.
Yeah,
like that definitely used to be my thought.
Though, it was like that once upon a time, because my account, I should look, actually, it's probably been active or activated, I should say, for I don't know, a few years, but like, I only started using it really a year ago properly. And when I kind of set it up, I don't even know what I set it up for. I think it's because I'd heard that people were on it and thought, oh, I'll have a nosy at that. And it was just like, what am I on here for? It was, I think it's a totally different place now, but is it that it's a totally different place, or is it that, as you say, you know, we've just kind of curated our own audiences and we're hanging out with the people we want to hang out with, you know?
Yeah. So I had a new client join one of my memberships this week, and we were talking about social media, getting on social media. She's a freelancer, and she was like, "Oh, no, I need to get on social media, but I don't really like it." Every time I get onto LinkedIn, I just get angry because of the bullshit that I read. And I was like, well, do something about it then. Get rid of the bullshit. That is in your control. Go and remove anybody that you're angered by and start adding people that add value. Like, you have total control of what you see. And this is across all social media platforms. And I get my knickers in a bit of a twist sometimes with social media haters, and everybody's entitled to their opinion 100%. But when it is founded on the likes of blame or you know, it's giving an unrealistic view of life, or you know, there's loads of people I don't like on there, or, well, why are you following them? That is in your control. Go and sort it out. The power of, including Instagram as well, for me, the stuff that I have learned from reading, like, I used to think that Instagram was, you know, looking at photos of your friends or travel stuff or whatever. I have learned like 50% of my business knowledge from following, you know, excellent content creators on Instagram who have taught me stuff. And that's because of how I curate my feed. The same goes for LinkedIn. So
100%. I mean, I wouldn't have the business without LinkedIn, because I mean, God, when I first started it, I like bought a domain. It was like, right, you're going to create your own website. This is how you're going to get clients. The website's still not created. I've done it all through LinkedIn. I've literally done it all through LinkedIn and, like, you know, communities that I'm part of and word of mouth, all the rest of it. But I still haven't got a website. Yes, I'm in the middle of it, but I really don't feel the need for it at the minute.
I was exactly the same. So my website went live 2 weeks ago. I've been doing this for 18 months, nearly 2 years or something. I've not had a website. I've not needed a website. It's everybody's go-to thing. But actually, your LinkedIn page can literally be like your website, and you don't have to pay anybody to create it, and you don't have to take forever to build it. You can do it in half a day if you know how. Like, you can literally go on, optimize your LinkedIn page, and then it is literally a website for you. And if you search for me on Google, my webpage doesn't come up straight away. My LinkedIn does, though.
But you know what, though? I think more and more people need to realize that as well, because I think when I first started out, before I had any clients, I thought, you know what, I'm going to do some associate work. I'm going to go and work for another lead VA, get some experience. And every one of them that I looked at, like applying to work with, wanted a website. Oh, put your website link on. I was like, well, can't you just look at my LinkedIn? And it just wasn't a thing, and it should so be a thing. So like I put out a form for an associate to work with me last week, was it? Or the week before, I can't remember now. Everything rolls into one. And I did not put on it. I put on it, you know, put your LinkedIn URL or your Instagram handle or your website. And it was literally an or, because I haven't got a website myself. I don't want to see someone's website. I want to see their LinkedIn. I want to see how they write, what they post. I want to see who they're connected to, you know. Nosy at the end of the day.
Gives you so much. But you made a really good point there that you can't see on other social media platforms. You can see on LinkedIn, you can see what people are commenting on. You can see exactly, you can go and see the history of the comments they've left on other people's content, which is a real great indicator of the kind of human being they are, because you can immediately filter out all of the people who've commented saying things like, "You're beautiful. What a lovely face you've got."
Happy
Yeah, exactly. All of that shit in the bin. But you can also see, like, what are they interested in? Like, what, you know, what do they actually stand for? Like, what are their values? What are they adding, like you say, are they adding value to other people on the platform as well? And I think with LinkedIn, you can also reverse engineer that point of, actually, I want to see a LinkedIn, you know, I want to be able to see that. If you're a business owner, or if you are a leader in an organization, and maybe you're looking for a new role, for example, or you're looking to, I don't know, do something different. If somebody finds you and they are a LinkedIn user, and they land on there and there's absolutely diddly squat, and it's like no posts, no, and this doesn't mean you have to suddenly become a prolific content creator, but if your page has got nothing on, they can't even see what you look like, they can't see what you're about or what you've done or anything, and then they lob onto the next person who's got loads of information about who they are, what they've done. That person can see all of that straight away. Who are they gonna hire?
Exactly.
I know who I'm gonna hire.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it does, doesn't it? Like when I've been kind of looking through associate forms that have come into me, I've gone on to like I've looked at the social media kind of like if they've given me their Instagram handle, and I've thought, wonder whether they're on LinkedIn. And I've searched on LinkedIn as well, and only because I just feel like I get so much more from it. So yeah, total agreement. I'm all for the LinkedIn. New to Instagram, giving it a go.
Yeah, and like I say, even if it is just that you get your profile sorted out, so that if somebody does land on there, they can actually see who you are. Like that's the place to start.
Yeah.
And for me, the three things that you can get from LinkedIn is you can massively increase your influence. Your sphere of influence is hugely increased by being on LinkedIn. Your impact, the positive impact you can have on other people, again, absolutely massively increased. And the third, and probably most important one, is income. You can increase your income massively by being on LinkedIn.
Yeah. Do you know what, though? It's a confidence boost as well, because obviously when I joined, I was brand new to it. I'd been in education for like 16 years. And then people were like sending me DMs. Oh, can I just ask you about this? And, oh, you mentioned this in your post. Can I just like, and I was thinking, oh, they're asking me. Why are they asking me? And it really does give you a kick as well. Gives you an absolute kick. And the more kind of confidence you build up on there, the more, you know, the braver, I suppose, you get with posting. Like, I don't care what I post on there now. I look at some of the videos and it's like, I'm walking the dog with no makeup on in the rain. What are you doing? But, you know, talking to my audience, I don't care. That's me. You know, take me as you find me.
And I think that is maybe one of the first videos that I came across, or one that sticks in my mind specifically about.
What, me with no makeup on?
No, with no makeup, but a video that's like where you can see, and video is so much more powerful than anything else because people can see, and that's why I love doing this on video. It's why I love doing it live, because people really get to see who you are, whether they trust you, whether they like your voice or not, or they find it annoying and they can't possibly work with you because your voice winds them up. Like, seriously.
I had to turn you down before we came on, just so you know.
Very loud. But yeah, do you know what I mean? Like you can hear, like you can see, you can hear, you can feel, you can really connect with somebody. And I think you'd done a video about, it was, I can't remember off the top of my head exactly what it was, but like I can see it now. It was like you were, I don't know, doing an impression of somebody, like doing an impression of somebody else or something like that. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, do you know what? That makes me laugh because I remember recording that and I was sat, it was like a rainy day. My kids were playing on the park and I was literally just parked in a car parking space. And I thought, all right, what can I do for LinkedIn? And it was things that were like annoying me that week, people saying things and me knowing they just didn't mean it. So I was like, right, I'm really going to like take the mick out of this. So yeah. Oh, as if you remember that. Yeah. Glasses on, glasses off. Remember that.
Yeah, but there you go. That's you being you, right? So the most powerful across any platform that you can ever be on, and the biggest piece of advice is just go be you. And I feel like that's maybe easier on other platforms for people than it is on LinkedIn, because people's perception of LinkedIn is that it's crusty and that it's fusty and that it's corporate and that it's professional, and then you've got to go, the first thing that you need to go on LinkedIn is go write a fucking thought leadership article. Piss off. Go do an impression of somebody. Go have a laugh. Go enjoy yourself and let people see who you are. Because that's what brings people like moths to a flame, is when you are absolutely yourself.
Brought us together and look at us now, eh?
And I definitely, like, if I go back and look at my content, I can see the evolution of it. And this is coming from me who absolutely preaches about being yourself. This is from me who is, like, I'm a relatively confident person. I'm not shy, all of that stuff. But still, there's a huge difference in my content from when I first started to now.
Yeah, definitely. Like, same.
Today, the post I put today was literally talking about my lady garden. So, I definitely wouldn't have put that when I first started.
Oh my goodness. All right. So my hooks are brave, but maybe they're not that brave.
I am definitely like, and somebody, I did one last, that was it. I don't know if you saw it. I did one about fanny tacks last week. And I put a picture of a bald pussy cat, I should be clear here, on LinkedIn. And so that is your sign, your calling. If you are thinking that LinkedIn is fusty, go look at my profile or search bald pussy on LinkedIn.
You're going to get our account shut down if you carry on. Stop.
And somebody, like, I know I'm doing all the stars, no swearing. And somebody had written on the comment on that post saying, I literally spat my coffee out on my computer this morning. And I was like, good, that is what I'm aiming for. Like, that is, if you were to meet me in real life, that's the kind of shit that I will say. That's what you'll get. Like, you better know now. And I did a post on LinkedIn, on Instagram yesterday, which is coming out on LinkedIn later this week. And the title of it literally just says balls deep. And I was like, if balls deep is too much for you, just go and hit unfollow now, because we're not, like, it's going to be a lot worse if you meet me in real life.
You know what? There's a bit of a theme going on here, because I think it must have been last week, and one of my hooks to my posts on LinkedIn was, what was it? Have you got aniseed balls or something like that? It was to do with a sweet shop. It genuinely was, but you know.
People have got a mucky mind. People have got a mucky mind.
I meant aniseed balls. I don't know what they were thinking, but there you go.
Yeah. So LinkedIn, clearly super powerful. It's helped us both build businesses. 100%. It is literally changing our lives. It has made us friends, including each other. Like, if you're not on LinkedIn, in fact, if wherever you are, where you're watching, whether you're watching live or replay, come and tell us where you're watching from. If you're on LinkedIn already, if you're thinking about getting on there, we'd love to know. Yeah. So actually, what I would like to ask you, because your engagement rate on LinkedIn, the way that people engage with your posts, is absolutely outstanding. For sure, right? You know that. Don't you be squitching your eyes up, because I'll have none of that.
It's ramped up a bit over the last few weeks. Yeah, it has. It's getting to the point where, I'll comment and it'll be like, okay, I'll time block, half an hour at lunchtime to have a look. And it's like, whoa, yeah, it has. You can ask me how now and why. And I've just been daft on there. Do you know what? I think I've been posting more consistently for a start. I've stopped the whole kind of, I don't know, some people might disagree, but I post in the morning, as in UK time, morning. That's when my kind of community seems to be active. But then there's still comments on it in the evening. I don't know. That morning thing just seems to help for me. I do the whole kind of interact before I post, give the algorithm a little poke, all the rest of it. Chat to people, be yourself and just go for it. But also I'm only commenting on stuff that I'm really into now. So I will openly admit that when I first started, I'd be like, oh, right, I'll comment on this. I'll comment on that. I'll comment on theirs because they've got a big account. Shock horror. Yeah, I did it. People do it. But now I comment on what I'm interested in, what I genuinely want to comment on, people I'm interested in. So whether that has made a difference, I do not know, but I'm more kind of invested in it now. It is a routine, it's a job.
But it's been your engagement's been very good from the start. And even with when you started and your smaller following, your engagement's been if you look at your follow to engagement rate, it's very, very, very good. And I think you said, like you said at the beginning, I spoke to loads of people, and I think you did a lot of one-to-ones as well, didn't you? You did a lot of, did you speak to people one-to-one? Right.
Yeah, so, I thought that was the thing, So, everybody does that. So I literally just spent my whole time networking. It was like, oh my God, I've got to sort a business out here. Yeah.
But I think that's really probably was an enormous, powerful boost for you. Because I bet if you go and look at the people that comment on your profile, and the people that are invested in you and the people who are interested in what you've got to say, I bet a lot of those people are, because they've got a deeper connection with you. They've got a deeper connection with you. So if you can, and if you have the time, I would absolutely encourage people to it's not weird. People do it all the time on LinkedIn to reach out and have a one-to-one chat with somebody. Like, just jump on Zoom. I've done it with so many people. People who have become friends, people who've become clients, people who've become, and it's not a sales call, so don't do that. No. It's just, let's get to know each other. Like, let's actually, if you were LinkedIn is a networking platform. Consider it it is, at the heart of it, it is a networking platform, and as it should be, and it's a freaking fantastic one at that. It's a community building platform. If you went to a networking event, you wouldn't just stand in the corner with your face against a wall and not speak to anybody. Well, you might, and I have actually done that on many occasions. But that said, You shouldn't stand with your face to a wall and not speak to anybody.
I'm
You go and
usually
speak to
the
somebody.
one in the middle with like verbal diarrhea, because when I get like excited and like pumped up, so I just keep chatting and chatting. Yeah, I am that
But
one.
that's the point. Think of those call outs as like as a chat that you're having with a one-to-one somebody on the side of a networking event. That's all that
Yeah.
is. So I think that's definitely helped for sure.
Yeah.
I think even what you said about reaching out to some of the larger accounts when you're first starting out, it increases your visibility for sure. It does. And now you can do that on ones that you love. You can still one for me regularly is like, I absolutely love Stephen Bartlett. Like I absolutely love him. And he's obviously a massive account. And usually it's, I have to admit, it's rarely thought out. And I have a way to go in terms of my LinkedIn routine because of my lifestyle. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But usually when I'm commenting on Stephen Bartlett's posts, it's because I absolutely love them and I want to say something. And usually the people in the comments there are very interesting. They're on the same wavelength as me. They're interested in these, personal development topics and things like that. So, but every single time I do it, people find me. People who are interested in him end up finding you because there's so many eyes on that account.
But you've got to be interested in it, haven't you? You know what I'm saying is I probably started out commenting just for the sake of it because that's what I heard you should do, type of thing. But no, definitely, like for instance, Leah Turner, obviously we're both in her like paid community, and I'll comment on Leah's, not because Leah's got a big account, because I genuinely love the stuff she posts, and it kind of aligns with my values. The people in the comments are my type of people, and that's why it works. Absolutely why it works. And like Izzy Pryor as well, like I comment on lots of hers because I love the stuff she puts out, not because it's just woohoo big accounts. It's just whoever you vibe with, isn't it? Just go for it. Absolutely go for it. Be yourself. And as you say, those people will come to you then. You hang out in the same places. It's natural. It just happens.
And I think the mix as well, the mix of big and small, because those big accounts, sometimes you may well never get a response. They're so big that, like you say, when somebody's got 400 comments on their profile, there's just no way they're going to get.
Unless they've got me managing their DMs and LinkedIn, then they will get back to you.
Obviously. Love that plug there. Absolutely love it. Excellent work. But yeah, like there's a point if you're going with small creators that you love as well, like there's a really, like you say, your chance to build a really deep relationship with somebody because they're just starting out as well, and they've got a smaller following, they've got a smaller engagement rate and stuff like that. But I think actually Leah was talking about this recently about building. You could, even if you didn't post on LinkedIn, you could build a whole network if you didn't post, just by engaging with other people and speaking to other people on there. Like you totally can do that too. It's probably overlooked by a lot of people. And when I said about, it's interesting, you said something about, this is what I heard you should do when you first start out, just go and comment, go wild, absolutely wild. There's so much advice out there from LinkedIn experts about what you should and shouldn't do. So much. In fact, so funny. One of my one-to-one clients yesterday, she's committed to posting every single day on LinkedIn and she's fucking nailing it. And I'm so proud of her. She's gone from, I can't, I don't want to, I'm scared, I don't like it, to I'm going to do it every single day. And as she's doing it and we're going through it, I'm talking to her about like the little niggly algorithm rules. Like, so she's like, oh, I've just done this. I'm just going to go back and edit it. And I was like, don't do that.
Not yet.
And I'm like, and don't put that link in there, or don't do this, or do it like this, or do it like that. And she's like, fucking hell, this is like having a psychotic boyfriend who says, do this, but don't do it like that. Post, but don't do it like that. Isn't it like that?
I've got a friend like that. I say a friend. I met her on LinkedIn. I won't name drop because she'll be like, cringe, don't say my name on LinkedIn. But yeah, I totally do that with her. So she'll post and I'll send her like a WhatsApp voice note and I'll be like, right, leave it. Okay, now make sure you comment, reply to your comments. It's a bug, isn't it? You get absolutely addicted to it. It's sad, isn't it? It is sad. I promise I have a life as well. I do, really.
Yeah, so there is all of those. But my advice and something that I strictly follow as well is, my lifestyle is chaotic's not the word, but it is, what's the word? It's constantly changing. I'm all over the place. My routine is constantly changing. My hours of work are constantly changing. My countries are constantly changing. My clients are completely global. So posting in the morning Where do I do that? My clients live
Yeah.
from 15 to 20 hours apart, like from everywhere in the globe. Like it's not even possible for me. And like whereas sometimes I'm trying to target certain, so I can't both post in the morning and engage before and after because I'll either be in bed or I can't do it all.
You
So
wouldn't sleep.
no, and my advice is just do the thing that you can, that fits with your lifestyle over any expert LinkedIn advice, over anything you hear from any professional. Just start and do it in a way that works for you. Like,
otherwise it's not going to get done, is it? It's like some people say, don't they? Oh, when you wake up in the morning, you shouldn't scroll on your phone in bed. You should get up, do your yoga, do your breathing, all the rest of it, whatever. Literally, I get up, I scroll on my phone. That's what I do. And that is because that's my time to like come round in the morning. That's my time to wake up. That's my peace time. Everybody's still sleeping. And that works for me. That's probably when people will get the best of me in the morning.
Yeah. But yeah, it is just if you're starting out, just do it in a way that works for you. Ignore all that, because there is a lot of noise and there is a lot of advice. And when you become like a LinkedIn ninja, like Danielle, when you become that LinkedIn ninja, then you can start to follow each of those bits of advice for sure. And you can refine and you can get better. But like anything, just start in a way that works for you.
But I think it's natural as well. When you first start on LinkedIn, I searched for people that gave out LinkedIn advice and I followed loads of them. And then it got to a point where I thought, I'm half decent at this. Okay, I know what I'm doing now. And it's like, whoa, why have I got all these people telling me what to do? And I found myself looking at some of them going, well, I don't do that. And it just, it was turmoil in my brain. So it's quite nice now. It's quite nice now.
Yeah, that's it. Finding your flow, finding what works for you, and you are going to see and reap the rewards. Before we move on from this section, I'm actually going to mention something, because this whole LinkedIn journey for me has, this sounds quite dramatic, but it actually has probably been the same for you too. It is
not like you, Tara.
It has changed my life. It's changed my life. How's it changed your life?
So absolutely. Without LinkedIn, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. No, absolutely agree. Yeah, 100%. It does. It sounds dramatic. And when I say it to people, they're like, all right, yeah, okay. And trying to persuade them to come on. It's like, well, you will when you're ready. If you want my help, if you want me to kind of tell you what it's done for me and show you without you taking the mick, then call me. Friends I'm talking about now.
But this is one of the reasons. So like I'm doing a masterclass pretty much every single month of this year. And I was on a coaching call with, I wasn't on a call, I was on a training with one of my coaches. I was plugged in, I was on the aeroplane, earphones in, listening to this training about delivering masterclasses, right? Really meta. Okay. A masterclass about how to deliver masterclasses and how to frame masterclasses and stuff like that. And I was sat there and she was like, the best ones come from reverse engineering something that you've done that your clients struggle with. Yeah. Like, and I know that sounds proper basic, but it just clicked the way she said it. She was like, go through something that you've done, reverse engineer the steps that you've done, as long as that's something that your clients are struggling with right now. And then title that masterclass exactly that. How I did X, Y, Z. And so this month, the penny dropped for me. I was like, the LinkedIn thing, all of my clients are there in this fear stage. I can't get on there. It's scary. Mm-hmm. It's this, that, and the other. I don't know where to start. I don't know what on earth is the content strategy, all of that. That's where they are. And I've done that. Now, I am not a LinkedIn coach. I'm not. I'm a leadership coach, but I have led my way onto LinkedIn, and fucking hell have I learned some stuff along the way. I've hired plenty of experts. I've been part of communities. I have learned, I've done. The most important thing is I've done the do. I've been there doing the do for the last year. And that's what I want to share, because I was like, that is useful. That is valuable. And we were speaking about LinkedIn training, weren't we? Like, there's so many people to deliver it. There's so many ways that we can actually, if you've got time, you could plug into these experts without paying for a training, without doing anything, just from the content that they post. Like, there's so much stuff out there. But for me, like, everybody's journey is different.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like, I'm part of loads of Facebook communities of VAs, and one common thing, not everybody, but one common thing I'm seeing is people will ask questions about LinkedIn, or some people will say, oh, connect with me on LinkedIn and I'll show you this or whatever. And they're like, oh, I've not quite got the hang of it yet. Or, oh, I'm just on Instagram. And it seems to be in the VA world, or maybe it's just, the communities that I'm part of, I don't know, that lots are scared to go for it, or maybe don't know how to utilize it. So like, because I obviously haven't got enough to do and haven't, got all the spare time in the world, I started putting together like almost like a LinkedIn beginner's guide for VAs. Again, I'm not a LinkedIn coach. It's just what I've kind of learned and what I've found doing it myself. I think I've been pretty successful with it. So I want to kind of share that with others, because I feel myself every time someone says something, I just want to comment and go, well, actually, and it's like, hang on a minute, Danielle, make some money out of this. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Quite honestly, like there seems to be a bit of a gap there for me. So that's what I'm up to in the background anyway.
And that aligns with my theories and thoughts on being an expert. So my statement is always that to be an expert, you don't need to be the best at something. You don't need to know everything. You don't need to, literally be the leading in your field to be an expert at something.
Yeah.
You need to know more than an average room.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that you know more about than an average room that you plonk yourself in, you are an expert at that. Full stop.
I like that. That's good.
And that's us for LinkedIn, I think. Like, we definitely know more than the average. And it's so funny, like when I'm working with one-on-one clients and I'm reeling this stuff off, I'm like, God, I know so much.
Yeah.
I know this head is full of stuff because I'm just doing it in and out every day. So yeah, I'm really, really excited. So just talk about that masterclass. I've called it Leading on LinkedIn, how I grew 4,500 followers, got on 500,000 screens, and have opportunities landing in my DMs, because that's what it's about, innit? Doesn't matter anything else. The thing is, we're doing this to get the opportunities, the career opportunities, the business opportunities, the client leads, the whatever, just dropping in your inbox.
I'm just doing it for fun. What are you talking about? Am I?
LinkedIn nerd.
No, I'm really not. Sorry. Oh, big dream, Love
it. Okay. I think we've linked in to death.
We're all linked out of LinkedIn.
We're linked out of LinkedIn. But actually, just thinking about that and what you do specifically around LinkedIn, I wanted to talk about outsourcing.
Mm-hmm.
The power of outsourcing. Now, this is not only if you are a business, right? This is whether you are employed or a business owner, because you, as a human being, think about what the types of things that you outsource in your life, right? The first thing that I ever outsourced in my life was cleaning. It was the first thing that I ever outsourced.
Same.
Yeah. So this isn't only about a business owner and outsourcing services. It's about thinking what is important in your life. Where is your time best spent?
Mm-hmm.
How are you maximizing your time for money? And also just living your life.
Yeah. Well, do the things that you love to do and get rid of the things that you need to do but don't particularly love to do. Yeah. I'm sure that could have been surmised a little bit better, but that's what I meant.
That is it. But that's it. So it started with cleaning, and I've outsourced loads of things in bits of things in my business,
I know,
things in my life as well. Definitely. Yeah. And let's talk about that. And this is a chance actually for people to get a bit deeper to understand like the things that you actually do as a VA that you can get outsourced, because I think people don't even know so many of these things. So one of the things I outsourced to Danielle was my inbox was an absolute, I don't know the word, the fucking mess is the best word to describe it.
Do you know what? No, it wasn't that bad. It was big. It was big, but it wasn't the worst I've seen.
Yeah, because like I'm not the person who would ever like drop a lead or miss an important email, but there was just loads of stuff in there that needed sorting out.
Into pretty little folders.
Into pretty little folders, so that I could sort my mind out. And what's very difficult, I think, with outsourcing is for people to relinquish control.
Yeah,
what do you think?
100%. And I think everybody's different as well. Like some people, if you're doing like an inbox cleanse or managing, emails, some people will just like to fill out a form of what they want, what emails they want to keep, what newsletters they want to be subscribed to, because chances are there's probably 20 odd in there that they don't need to be subscribed to. And some people will just go, yeah, that's fine, use your judgment, whatever you think. Okay, you've got that person, but then you've got the person that's like, oh, I'm a little bit bothered about losing control. I don't care how many times you send me a WhatsApp voice note. Keep in touch with me. If you're not sure about anything, just ask me. I'm really not bothered about you kind of pecking my head. And do it like that. So you've got two totally different types of people there with you. And I'm sure you won't mind me saying, but with you, you were just like, WhatsApp me anything, because I knew you were by your phone. So like, for instance, I remember when I got to like all your Amazon delivery receipts, I was like, do you want your Amazon stuff to? No, get rid. I was like, okay, 1,000 and delete. But, oh my gosh, deleting stuff like that is so satisfying. But you can be as in touch with your VA, sorting your inbox out, as you want to be. You know, you don't have to just leave them to it. But if you want to pick them to, to leave them to it, then you can. It's totally led by you. And I think if a BA, oh, I'm on the British Airways. If VA is doing it properly, they will work the way that suits you best, because that's how you're going to get the business, basically, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but and I was just about to say that is the sign of, like you say, a flexible and adaptable VA. I don't think everybody is particularly like that, and that's okay. Maybe certain VAs work in a certain way, and they pick their clients, but to be able to flex like that is a really great thing, because actually I think people work in different ways on different projects as well. You might have the same person work one way on one project and a different way on a different project. So they might be really, really controlling over their inbox, but they not give two hoots about what you do with their accounts. Like, anything like that. It's just being able to flex. That's the same. That's a thing I talk about in leadership coaching all the time. How are you flexing towards somebody else's style, but also still staying like, I'm me and this is how I do, true to yourself. Like, but it is so important to flex.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's similar when I'm managing people's DMs as well. I've got clients that are like, oh yeah, just send messages as me, say what you want, it's fine, I trust you. And then you've got others that have kind of got the clear templates, not because they don't trust me, but because they've got their kind of, that's how they do it, and that's how they've always done it, and it works. And that's absolutely fine. And then you've got others that say, can you send a message back, from yourself? So I will say, from Danielle, so-and-so's VA or whatever. And I'm not kind of out there saying, right, I only do it this way. It's whatever works for the client. And I'm happy to kind of, yes, I have maybe a favorite way, but whatever, I do it however they need it doing, basically, as long as the job's done.
It's an interesting outsourcing one, that as well, like, because it's so personal, isn't it? Like, and that's, you just nailed it there by saying, some people say, this is, I do, they let people know. And I actually think that's a really real cool approach when somebody says, even if you don't say from Danielle or whatever, people will say, I have a VA working for me, they'll be answering, I've got a team working for me who'll be answering your questions, making sure that you get answered. And some people choose not to, and then you've got a mission to really embody that person as well and who they are.
It is nerve-wracking to start with.
Talk about how you do it.
So I'll look at DMs that messages that they've sent to people before. I'll look at how they engage in the comments. It's hard to explain. I just study how they write and then try to write it like them. And I'm very much, I have like a Google profile for each client. So when I'm in that profile, I'm them, it's like, I'm not me anymore. And it is funny because some of the things, like, I wouldn't talk like that myself, but then I'm not being me. So, it just goes with the territory, but I love it. I love people. I love like psychology. It's right up my street. I love it. And it was nerve-wracking at first. At first I was like, oh, can I do this? I feel like such a fraud, if anything. But no, it just happens. I love it now. I love it. It's almost like not like work. It's great.
And I am a bit disappointed there, because I thought you were going to say, every time I work for a different client, I'll put a hat on and the glasses on and I'll get into character and I'll sit there and I'll pretend to be them. That is really what I thought you might be doing, Danielle, like with the outfits to the side and just absolutely nailing it.
Do you know what? I have got a massive fancy dress box for teaching, not just randomly at my house. Because I could do that. I should do a LinkedIn post with like loads of different wigs on, being different creators. That would be quite cool.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
Or like even just like demonstrating how you get to support other people, like how you do it. Because I think that's a really interesting question, you know. People are like, oh, how can somebody be me in the DMs? Like, how can somebody do that? And it's like, yeah, well, I can put the wig and glasses on. I can just become you.
Yeah. Oh my God, you'd be so easy to do. I'd love to be you.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare throw this one back at me.
Well, nobody would actually hear anything because it'd just be bleep, bleep, bleep.
Excellent point. Excellent point.
But do you know what? I don't want kind of people, I don't know, people listening to this might think, oh gosh, them pretending to be me, that's really scary. It does not have to be like that. It can be a holding email, well, not an email, but a holding DM, you know, oh, they will get back to you, da, 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 da. And then I put it on the CRM system or the Google Sheet or whatever they use, and they're notified that it's there. And I think as well, when you've got a big account, and when I say big, I'm talking like, you know, way bigger than our accounts, it is so hard to mislead, so hard, because the DMs are like chum, 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 all the time, every day. And I can imagine it becomes like really, really overwhelming. But on the other side, for me to find my ideal clients and to win the business, it can be quite hard if I'm communicating with them in the LinkedIn DMs, which is usually where I start, because I get lost in their DMs. So I have to be sometimes quite persistent and, you know, kind of a, hey, just checking in, or hey, or have I got lost in your DMs again? I think you need my help, you know, like jokey messages type of thing. So that is not a battle, but it is one of the things I face, is if I'm wanting to help someone with those overflowing DMs, I'm going to get lost in them first. So I've just got to kind of try and stand out.
Chicken and egg, right? A bit of a chicken and egg and like a catch-22 situation, like trying to actually get them out. But great opportunity to like demonstrate the issue. Really, there is an issue going on here.
But you know what? Like, I connect with people that love a bit of banter. I think most of the people I speak to, most of the people I connect with love a bit of banter. And if someone can cope with me going, you really need me because I think I've got lost in your DMs again, haven't I? Then it's going to work. You know, they're the type of people that I totally get on with and work really well with. So if they're offended by that, then it was never meant to be, and it probably wouldn't have worked anyway. So
yeah, absolutely.
That was a bit strong, wasn't it? That was a bit strong.
No, it was. No, it's not. I said yesterday when I did the balls deep post on Instagram, and I literally wrote, if it's too much for you, unfollow. And about 10 people just did. It's about 10 people just dropped off. And I was like pissing my pants at how many people had actually followed the instruction. But if they can't cope with balls deep, like what are they going to do when they get a call on me? And I'm like, fucking do this, fucking do this. Oh shit, Alex, crap. Like, what are they going to do then? They just fall over.
Yeah. You've got to have a certain amount of stamina to be tarred, haven't you, online? You know?
You do. You do.
And a thick skin, maybe.
Yeah, one of the pieces of feedback I got, one of the nicest and most accurate pieces of feedback I got from one of my one-to-one clients was, I'm trying to think of how she worded it now, but she essentially said, you literally, what was the word she said? But she said, you like go, you kick me up the arse, but not in a mean way. Yeah. Like you absolutely kick me into touch, but it's not mean when you do it. And I know it's like coming from the right place. And I was like, yeah, that is so accurate. That is absolutely. Yeah. It still sits the project manager in me. Like,
yeah, I can see that totally, because before now, I think obviously like we kind of were LinkedIn DM buddies and then turned into WhatsApp buddies and now hotel buddies. But anyway, when we used to I used to say, I can't remember what it was about, but I sent you a voice note and I think I'd had a bit of a bad day and I was like, oh, and maybe it was a bit of self-doubt. I can't remember, but I literally got a message back from you. And it's like, right, stop that coming out of your mouth now. I was like, okay. I was like, I know she means well. I'm going to listen. And it was like, you proper sorted my head out that night, whatever you said. And I was just like, I was on cloud nine. I remember that night just being like buzzing from what you said. And I thought, how on earth has someone just done that with words, basically telling me to shut up and stop that stuff coming out of my mouth? So I can vouch for that as a non-client, you know?
Yeah, sometimes people just need, like, is it? Sometimes I'm not the softly approach isn't my go-to. Doesn't mean I don't do it. And sometimes it is there and it is very much needed. And I, hold space for my clients when they need it like that. And I pride myself on being able to know what's needed when and how. But my style is generally like, it is full of energy. It is no bullshit. I'm not going to take any prisoners. I'm not going to definitely not going to let you get stuck in your own bullshit. Like, I am calling it out every single time, for sure.
You've got me sussed. Like, even us chatting now, like, I can see your facial expressions, and like, I don't deal well with compliments. I am rubbish at like bigging myself up. I don't know. It makes me cringe, and the look I get from you as if to say like, stop it. It's like, all right.
But and I was exactly the same. I'd say a year ago, there was like, I couldn't. I'm that person, and I think it's a typically British thing as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a nice dress. Well, I got it from Primark and it was £1. Or, oh, your skin looks good. Look at this spot that I've got. Look at it. Look at it now. Like, that's it. It was like this weird requirement to to do that. And I was having a conversation yesterday. I was supporting one of my clients she was writing a script for a video she was doing. And she was like, what do you think to this? And I sent her like 14 voice notes, like saying, say this, do this, write this, do the other, getting balls deep with my clients. Yeah. And she just sent me a message back saying, oh my God, you're a genius. And I responded, yeah, I fucking am. That's what I responded. Because I fucking am a genius at that kind of stuff. And I was like, and do you know what else I'm good at? Taking a compliment these days. And she was like, fucking great. Like, absolutely. Because people don't want to have to back actually that, oh, no, actually, I didn't do, they don't want to. People like, when you say, do you know what? Yeah, I am. Like, it's not, we can just accept the compliment and say, yeah I am actually really good at this.
It's the realization where we are. Well. It is the realization. Like, some of my posts lately have been a bit kind of, look, I've done this, look, I've done that, because I genuinely felt proud of myself. And I think I got to the point where I thought, right, okay, somebody sent me a DM. They were like, oh, following your page, can't believe how much of a LinkedIn, a VA legend you are, or something like that. I was like, VA legend? And I just thought back and I was like, I started this in September. This is absolutely crazy. And, I was talking to like my friends and it's like, oh, it's just lucky I was doing it. And they're going, no, you've done this. They're like, we've suffered not seeing you quite a bit because you've done this. And I think back and I think, whoa, wow, like, I am proud of me. I am. This is not who I was, but it is becoming who I am, which
what? Maybe I think you need to say the words out loud. I am a VA legend.
Oh, you're not going to do this to me. It's not going to be one of those things where we're all in the circle. Like, oh,
I am a VA legend.
I am a VA legend.
You said it. It's progress. I'm taking it. It is absolutely progress.
If you cut that and put that in some video post, I will kill you. Because that is
I'm literally like in 53 minutes. And
yeah. You know what, right? That's just kind of sparked something in my brain. Before we came on here, our connection or something dropped, and I was like on here ready to go, and we were talking, and Tara's got like a little live thing on her screen. So I've never been live before, so we're chatting away, and then she dropped off the screen, and all it said on my screen was, you are live, everyone can see you. And I was just sitting there like thinking that I was live on my own on Tara's page. So I kind of just went, Tara, hello, and left the page. And I thought it was you joking with me, but no, it was just me not understanding the whole live situation.
I would never do that to you. I would never ever do that to you. I promise. Okay. And like I would never do that to you. You have promised. So let's in our last 5. Oh my God, we've got 5 minutes. Well, we've got as long as we want. We can stay here forever. we've not got any work to do.
I've got to work.
So I want to talk about networking and professionalism. There's 2 things that I think go hand in hand together, but networking specifically. So everybody will have seen the title of this about meeting strangers and sharing a hotel room with a stranger on LinkedIn. So we are going to a networking event, a party, LinkedIn party, Leah Turner's LinkedIn party, in, remember when it is? June?
June. Oh, I think it's
something in June. And like, no questions asked. It was like, shall we just share a room? Yeah, let's share a room. I'm going to go book the room. Okay, let's go book the room. And that's it. We've never met in real life. The first time we're going to meet in real life, we're going to be sharing a hotel room. And Danielle is teasing me because I was like something about twin beds. And she said, who says I've booked twin beds? You don't know.
Do you know what though? When you said that, I actually checked the booking and I was like, "You got a book a twin room?" I can't actually remember.
So that here goes to all of the don't meet a stranger and get them into bed and straight away on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
We're going to do it. We're going to break all of the rules, albeit by the time we meet, we'll have nearly been speaking for a year, which is fucking wild.
So if I go quiet in July, it was Tara. she got me.
But we're going to a networking event, and I shared with you, and I've shared it on here a few times actually, and it always surprises people that I know, that I've known for years. It surprises people that have just met me and have come across me because of how I probably present myself generally. But there's a couple of things. I am an introverted extrovert. Like, I am an extrovert on the outside. I then have to lay down for 3 days after I've met people. Like, I need to recoup. Also, I suffer terribly with like group social anxiety, specifically meeting new people. So if I have to walk into a group of strangers, people that I don't know, the amount of times I've backed out of events because I don't know people, the amount of times I've been on a hen do and either had a panic attack or a migraine because I don't know anybody, and it's awful and horrendous. And so it physically manifests itself for me sometimes too. So deciding to go to a party where I know absolutely nobody in real life and a couple of people I know from the internet is a big thing for me. And Danielle said, "Don't worry, I've got you back. Like, I've absolutely got you back. It's going to be fine. We're going to be great. We're going to have a great time." And we will. Like, when I get there, I'll absolutely love it. It's just that initial getting over the hurdle.
You will. And I think that surprised me with you because, well, we're almost like opposites in that way. So like you doing the whole live things, the whole video, you know, putting your kind of self out there, your self-esteem is just like incredible. You know, I don't quite have that bit yet, but the bit I do love is put me in a room full of strangers and I will just chat. I will be first on that dance floor. You can shove me in a room with a load of strangers. I love that. I just absolutely buzz off it. I love it. So we'll complement each other.
Yeah, and absolutely, that's it. Like, that is it. We're not all good at everything. We don't all have everything figured out. And if you can find the people who complement your other skills, and you know, I mean, one thing that we do have in common is I fucking love to dance as well. So we are going to be dancing all of the night.
Amazing.
Excellent lot of dancing. But yeah, and we go into this event, and we had a conversation a little while ago. I think you'd been to was it an award ceremony or something like that?
Oh yeah,
the VA thing. Yeah. And we were talking about networking and professionalism, and you know, like, can I just go and be me and dance on the table and be exactly, you know, get shit faced and just go and enjoy myself, or do I have to be a certain way? And I've done a few like little mini trainings on networking and networking your way, because networking is something that I've found very difficult in the past as well. But realizing that there is so many ways to network, and doing it as you and your way is the only way to really start to enjoy it and to love it. But this so-called professionalism that comes with it, like, well, I've got to go, and I've had people say to me before, I'm not very good at networking because you know, like, I just crack jokes all the time and it's really inappropriate. I'm like, that's going to make you great at networking.
Yeah. And do you know what? That's just kind of when I did go to that VA conference as well, there were people that I met that were like, "Hi, I'm so-and-so and I do for founders," and you know, and they'd almost like give me their LinkedIn headline. Well, maybe they're not on LinkedIn, but I see it as a LinkedIn headline. And then you've kind of like got me that's like, "Hi, I'm Danielle. I'm a VA." Okay, even though everybody else was VAs, but that was just me. I'm not the kind of, I'm this person and I do that and I can do this for you. I just want to get to know the person, and that's just me. It was just, you've got to go with how it feels natural, haven't you, to you? And if that's cracking jokes and having banter with people, then do it. If it's kind of having a drink and going wild on the dance floor with someone and then going afterwards, can I have your number, let's keep in touch, then do it. You know, networking's networking. You make your own version, I say.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm going to say something there about, like, you know, the elevator pitch, or because I've been working on this with some people recently, and I like to call it a superpower statement, right? And to nail exactly what you said there, it can be anything that works for you, but something that people can remember. So if you meet people, like, it doesn't have to be, this is who I do and this is who I do it for and this is how I help. It can be, if that's what you want and that's your target and that's your aim and that's how you go, you do it like that. But for you, it could be something like, "Hi, I'm Danielle. Like, what you should know about me is I absolutely love getting to know new people. I love meeting people. I love connecting with people. Like that in itself is your thing. That is your way of doing the elevator pitch or the superpower statement or the whatever it is. Like, the thing you should know about me is I am going to be on my dance floor in 10 minutes time and you're going to be up there dancing with me. Like that is memorable. It is your superpower. It is the thing. It doesn't always have to be like, that traditional, this is who I am and this is what I do. And this is like, people will remember different people in different ways.
Yeah. And if that, that works for you, then crikey, do it. I'm just saying for me, that's just not me,
Yeah.
But no, love a bit of networking, love chatting to strangers. It's all good.
Yeah. And do you do much in-person networking? Obviously, you're networking like crazy in LinkedIn. Do you do much in-person networking?
None. So the VA conference, let me just check I'm not lying. Yeah, that's the one and only in-person one that I've ever been to. So obviously I'm going to the LinkedIn party in June. I was meant to go to the Christmas one, but I was ill, which I was gutted about. And then I think I'm going to go to Atomicon in Newcastle, second week of June. That's like driving up to Newcastle randomly. And I really won't even know anybody there. So yeah, it doesn't scare me. It's just, I seem to be behind the computer for now. But maybe that's why I go so wild when I actually meet people in person, because I don't get out much. She's been released.
Well, maybe that's your challenge. But like, think about, you just said, I absolutely love it. I love meeting new people. I love doing that. Like, maybe that's it. We get in and there's two sides to this. Like, again, something that I say about networking, do it your way in the way that works for you. Like, if you're struggling for time or you're in a remote location, fucking do it online. Like, great.
Yeah.
But if there is those opportunities, if it's where you truly shine and where you truly love it, like, it's my challenge to you is to go and get out and do a few more in-person networking like events, because you probably shine like an absolute superstar in those when people meet you in real life. Like, if they see that online, imagine like Danielle in real life is times a million. Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you know what though? It's finding the right kind of place, because I have found a couple of in-person networking things that go on around here, and I'm like, they don't look a bit of me. It's kind of a stand-up presentation about what you do. That's not. Yeah.
So my beautiful mother, and actually I think we spoke about this on she was my very first guest on Tara Time, and I think we spoke about it in the episode. So and she's just written a blog about it actually. She's a therapist now, and I coached her to start her business when I first started coaching. And so my mum was literally my first client. It was amazing. We had the best time. And she said to me, I absolutely hate networking. She's never networked in her life. She's like, I'm not getting in. That is not me. I wouldn't ever network. You can get stuffed, love. Like, go away. You can try and tell me what to do, and you might think you know about business, but you're not getting me doing that. And I was like, okay. So we broke it down, like, because she was like, oh, well, I'm not really very good at online stuff. Like, Instagram's not really, like, using a computer is not a bag. Let's put it that way. And I was like, well, we're gonna have to pick something that how people are going to learn about your network. I was like, what? She was like, how have you got all your clients so far? She was like, oh, word of mouth, speaking to people in the supermarkets, people, and I was like, what? Networking. She was like, what? And so she realized that she'd been doing it all along. And I was like, look, just go try. Let's dig one out. Let's dig an event out that's actually really aligned to you. And we found one in her local area called, it was My Network for Women, it was called. All local female business owners. Literally, she's made friends for life. Like, she was like, this is my best. She got a lanyard. She sent me a picture of her in a lanyard. She was like, oh, the best day of my life. She's like, I absolutely loved it. She goes once a week to an in-person networking event now, at least. Like, she's a networking queen. Now she's built her own network. She's opened her own business network that she runs in her house, where she feeds people. Business owners come from all over the place to her house, that she runs a network, because she went, I want to find one. And she does it. She calls it Network to Nourish. And she does like mind, body, soul. So it's not just a present about yourself. She brings people in to do all sorts of things, because that fits with her type of networking. And people come from all over the place, because, I don't know, there might be a meditation session run at one of her networking events. People come just for the lunch because she feeds them really nourishing, delicious food.
Is your mum is this the one with all the alpacas, or have I made that up? Has she got alpacas?
No, so my mum, she hasn't got them. She runs an alpaca retreat. So she runs a retreat on an alpaca farm. Yeah. So actually the reason that I'm coming back to the UK, because I support her with running those retreats. Okay. So yeah, she's doing two this year. So yeah,
there's going to be loads of selfies with you with alpacas on LinkedIn soon.
Always, absolutely always. There was last year, there will be the same again. But this is the point, right? You do you find the thing that fits for you. You find whether screw whatever you think professionalism is. And here's the thing, right? If you don't find the thing that you like, go out and make it. Go out and make it for yourself if you don't find the thing that you like.
Absolutely. That's what I did with my job. I made it up.
Exactly. We go out and we make up whatever we want and then we go do it.
Oh, just in the dream world. Yay.
Yeah. Now, I think we've covered everything apart from wine. I mean, there's not a lot to be said apart from when we go to this party, we're going to drink lots of wine.
Well, you told me you're not very good at doing that all day. You know, you go to bed early, don't you?
I don't. Technically, I don't go to bed early because living in this side of the world, you don't even go out for dinner until 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But I have no stamina. I have no drinking stamina. My stamina sits at drinking wine on a settee at home. Like, that's where I'm excellent.
I can't wait. I love as well
class.
that we've got a bit of kind of rough itinerary because I have to have an itinerary, you know, and I love that we've scheduled in a nana nap as well. I've just busted you. We're having a nana nap.
We are having a nana nap.
Yeah, we'll go out to lunch. We'll do lunch. We'll get back to the hotel. We'll have a nana nap, like this, so that I don't spoil my face. You know, go lie down on my back, and then we'll go back out. Be great.
Yeah, okay. You're going to be carrying me, but okay. Oh no, I've lost you.
When have you nana nap broken the internet?
I don't know, but I think that is the internet's way of telling us we've been gabbing on for too long. It is time to draw a close. Any parting words, whether it's about LinkedIn, whether it's about networking, whether it's about starting your own business, like if you could drop a little bit of advice for anybody who's watching, what would you say?
Do you know what? I think my advice is if I can do it, anybody can do it. And I think that's so cliche, isn't it? Like so many people say that, but literally I've been a teacher for 16 years. That's all I've known. That's all I'm trained in. And I've just learned it. I've just done masterclasses. I've networked with people and I've done it. I have actually done it. So if I can do it, then you can do it and just go after what you want. Do it. That's
Absolutely love that. And that's the bit that's going to make the little reel clip for sure, because that is a belting piece of advice. Like, yeah, you can, but you've got to put in the work. But the thing is with you, Danielle, you have put in the work. You've been at one point doing a full-time job to then obviously reducing your hours, but you're still working a job while you're doing this. And I know you've been pulling late nights, and I know you've been putting in the effort and taking the action and doing all of the things. Like, it's not going to get handed to you on a plate.
No,
but if you're willing to do it, you fucking can.
But when it's for you and you're passionate about it and you're getting a buzz off things going well, you get addicted and you can't stop. You cannot stop. And you're in the flow, aren't you? And you can't kind of, okay, sometimes it does get silly. I do go on till silly o'clock working, and then it's like, right, sleep now. Can't switch the brain off. But it's worked, and it's all, the light is at the end of the tunnel. I have the end goal. I know where the business is going. I know what I want from it. And gosh, it's great. It's going to be great. I know it is.
Yeah. Short-term pain, long-term gain.
Yes, absolutely. Exactly that.
Okay, so if anybody wants to get in touch with you about working together, about unfucking their LinkedIn DMs and getting it all nice and neat and tidy, cleaning out their inbox, doing all of the wonderful stuff, like is the best place LinkedIn for them to catch you?
Best place is LinkedIn. I mean, do you know what? I've only ever had one person contact me on email as a lead, but my email address is on LinkedIn. Head over to LinkedIn. Even if you're not on it, join it. That's the condition. Yeah. You've got to join it.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. Wonderful to have you on. See how your first live.
Well, I kind of forgot I was live, and now I'm thinking, oh, what have I said?
That's the whole point of Tara Time. The whole point of this is that it is just nice conversation. I've had my friends on here who you know what it's like starting a business. It's like, I've not seen any of my friends for ages. I've not been able to do anything. And then I'm like, will you come on here? We can have like our catch up that we haven't had. It's just that everybody else in the world will be listening.
Everybody on the internet. Yeah. Why not? Well, let's get rid of the internet now. We've bored everybody enough.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you later.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this episode, remember to hit like, subscribe to my channel so you never miss an episode, and leave a comment below.